Lines 111 through 117 advise the buyer to have any and all inspections and that the brokers will be held harmless. Ohio is a caveat emptor state, which means that the burden is on the buyer to investigate the condition of the property. In other words, buyer beware. It is imperative that before you proceed, you have shown the buyer all disclosures that are available to them, such as a lead-based paint form if built prior to 1978 and the Ohio Residential Property Disclosure Form. If any additional addenda exist, such as that of a relocation or asset management company, it's best to provide those at this time as well. Properties are sold in their current as-is, present physical condition. Having a buyer sign all disclosures prior to writing the offer has them acknowledge that they understand the patent defects in the home. Inspections are to expose latent defects only, and it is best to advise the buyer that you are looking for items that involve health, safety, or structural problems. This is not an opportunity to renegotiate the price based on cosmetics or items that are inherent to owning a home. Lines 119 through 129 allow the buyer to reserve the right to inspect the home in the ways listed. This in no way means they are obligated to have each inspection they reserve the right to have. In addition, on line 129, there is room to write if there is anything special that they have concerns about. For example, a lakefront property with potential erosion issues or a basement with structural reinforcements that they want to ensure are working properly. You must also indicate whether or not they will reserve the right to have the inspection, designate a time frame for which the inspection will be conducted, and who will pay for the inspection. It's wise to have the buyer choose the appropriate inspections and inspectors on their own and retain them at their own expense. Then there is no question as to who the inspector works for. Remember that days are defined as calendar days, so you must be mindful of weekends and holidays. 3 to 5 days is usually sufficient and gives the seller peace of mind that they will receive the results and removal of contingency in a reasonable amount of time. This also allows for the results to be reviewed early in the process before the appraisal has been completed. Lines 131 through 134 ask for the buyer to waive any inspection they have not reserved the right to have. Make certain all buyers initial on line 131. Lines 135 through 155 describe the process and timeframes for getting the inspections, preparing and submitting a removal of contingency form, and what happens if the parties cannot come to a meeting of the minds regarding any repairs or price reductions that may result after the inspections are reported. It's critical to pay attention to the time frames, and as a reminder, days refers to calendar days, regardless of holidays, and oversight could potentially terminate the agreement. Line 158 asks if the buyers want to reserve the right to have a wood-destroying insect inspection. You will notice that throughout this paragraph there are several lines that must be completed, indicating who will choose the inspector, who will pay for the inspection, and who will ultimately pay for the treatment. Please be certain to complete each choice.